Welcome to CEO Interviews, a production of Gorecom, in which we take the time to speak with small cap CEOs about what's going on at their companies. With us today for the first time ever, Matt Bailey. He's founder and CEO of GameOn Entertainment Technologies. There's no stock symbol yet because the company hasn't started trading. This is something new. We expect to be trading next week on the CSE and the stock symbol GET. But it hasn't gone public yet, hasn't listed. So you get a chance to find out about the company first. What you need to know is this. First of all, GameOn is a portfolio company of our very well-known Victory Square Technologies, VST on the CSE, which, as you all know, builds and invests in promising startup and then gets them going into commercial viability. GameOn, what does it do? It's got two core offerings. One, it's flagship, consumer-facing mobile and TV apps, and a white label solution for third parties. That GameOn's flagship mobile TV and TV app makes it easier for guys like us, friends, family, fans, right, to, quote, get in the game and compete with each other in challenges, friendly challenges, free play contests with cash prizes. So that's an amazing experience. Imagine watching, for example, I'm a Dallas Cowboys fan, and being online with other Dallas Cowboys fans or fans of the other team and creating contests between us. It's an amazing thing. It's all distributed on a B2B basis, which is great. So you're going to hear about that with Matt, but it's B2B distribution with big partners, with big audiences. In the pipeline, for example, partnerships include that are potentially coming: Roku, Samsung, Buffalo Wild Wings, La Liga, which is the Spanish soccer league, even Tokyo 2020. What that done is generated into year to date 100,000 plus organic downloads, 1,200 reviews with a 4.5 average rating, which means it's awesome. And they even won the All-Star 2020 Chicago NBA pitch contest. There's so much more to talk about, but that's what we got Matt here for. Matt, welcome to the show.
George, pleasure to be here. Excited to talk about GameOn and our upcoming listing.
Well, let's talk about GameOn first, because I love this, but I want people at home to get, a good understanding. We're probably gonna have some video and all that that's gonna be playing over this for people to see. But explain to us what the experience is like and what you guys are delivering that's so great and gonna make you guys so successful.
Yeah, at GameOn, our vision is to empower any content provider. So that's in sports and entertainment, teams, leagues, TV networks, broadcasters, OTT platforms. We're empowering them with technologies that make their content more engaging and more immersive and more social. So we're really focusing on B2B partnerships. That's really the future and the vision of the company, and the types of technologies that we're empowering them with focus around gamification, so prediction games and other different layers that tie into those prediction games. So that's kind of the overview of who we are and what we're up to, really focusing on that B2B angle.
So if I'm a sports fan, so let's drill down to a specific example. If I'm a sports fan and I'm watching some kind of, whether it's football or soccer, you name it, give us an example of the kind of things you've done with other sports fans to give over home a real specific example.
Yeah, so we're to work with various partners. We've potential partners we've spoken to in the last various months are La Liga, like you said, Bundesliga, FIFA. Here in the US, we've spoken to many teams and leagues. When we're talking to them, we're saying, hey, let us make your content, the game, more engaging. Let us build prediction games and experiences that are retention driving and engagement driving around your experience. And we white label our mobile and TV apps to look and feel like their experience. So if we're working with a FIFA or a La Liga, we're creating the official FIFA or La Liga prediction game. And they're rolling it out on their audiences. And then our business model is license driven. So they pay us to license our technology, and revenue share driven. So revenue they're generating from those engagements, we also participate in the upside of that. So that's an example of what we could do with those types of partners. But we're not just focused on sports. We're looking at entertainment as well. Sure. So, like for example, The Bachelor, right? They arguably have just an engaged audience and just a crazy fanatical audience. Absolutely. As any team, as your Dallas Cowboys. And the funny thing is, the way those fans are engaging Bachelor Nation is crazy outside of the content owner's environment. It's in WhatsApp groups, it's in non-sophisticated mediums. So that's where arguably the biggest opportunity is, the biggest blue sky opportunity is to actually take that and bring it back where it belongs, in the TV networks, audience and environment, not in WhatsApp groups.
So how big is the market for this? Do we even know? Because it seems like it's something that's pretty brand new. I mean, I think we've always wanted this. Who hasn't wanted this? While you're watching your favorite show or your favorite team, you want to be able to, have these challenges and engage, right? Do we even know how big the market is for these kind of mobile and TV apps?
I mean, it's so at the forefront of kind of innovation, especially like the TV apps that we're building, the connected TV opportunity. It's kind of a cross section of different opportunity. There's second screen engagement, there's first screen engagement by connected devices. So it's definitely in the billions of dollars of opportunity. And we think as a business, we're fairly early stage and just getting up and running and getting our products into the market. But we think we can be generating 7 figures in revenue pretty soon, and then 8 figures of revenue in the coming years. So the opportunity is a big one, and it's one that we're just starting to tackle as a business and kind of trying to position ourselves at the forefront of that innovation.
And more than just lip service, you've had some great people. This isn't just Matt and a couple of guys. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but it's beyond Matt and a couple of guys thinking, hey, this may be a good idea. You guys in February announced Jay Moses as chairman, and he's a respected game industry veteran. He helped build BMG Games, which published Grand Theft Auto, serves as director at Take-Two Interactive. You've got some great people on from EA Sports, Intuit, Apple News, Condé Nast. Is that an indication of great validation? Is that validation that you guys are really onto something when you got great people like that joining forces with you?
Yeah, I think it's validation, but you'll hear me say over and over every time I do these interviews, like, people is absolutely everything. And from the get-go, when we knew we were going down this path with Victory Square Technologies and taking this thing public in Canada, we knew we need to assemble an all-star team. And we've done that over the last 6 months. Jay is just the start. Also a director at Take-Two Interactive, one of the biggest public gaming companies in the world right now. He's a chairman and literally in the day-to-day business with me, driving conversations. But yeah, the rest of the board are absolutely stellar. Our advisory team comes from places like DraftKings, early investors in DraftKings. La Liga's US CEO is also on our advisory board.
Wow.
But then trickling down into our day-to-day team, our chief product officer, Santi Jaramillo, built FIFA at EA Sports for 10 years. And then from there, he went and built NBA Top Shot at Dapper Labs. So he's now quarterbacking our product. And, when I look at our team and when we're having some conversations and, having brainstorms and whatever, I really feel like we can't lose with the people we have around us. That's where it starts. And, I'm realizing as CEO, my job more than anything over the last 6 months and now going into the next journey with Victory Square and going public on the CSE, my job isn't to be the smartest guy in the room. My job is to assemble the smartest guys in the room and inspire them and motivate them and get them pumped up about being part of GameOn. And that's what we've been doing.
Well, look, you've done a great job because all these people have multiple opportunities to go pretty much take the pick of the litter. So the fact that they're willing to pick they're willing to pick GameOn tells me a lot about where you guys are at in terms of your business plan and your product and so on and so forth. So I want to address that, even though typically we go into the business. I want to address that first because you're not public yet and people don't know you. So that kind of validation is important. Let's go back to your potential B2B partnerships. I listed off a bunch there at the beginning, right? How close are you to creating official partnerships? And how do you go about securing these partnerships? Is that where your team comes in, where they're helping open these doors?
Yeah, so we have partnered with the likes of Comcast, NBC Universal, and Bravo in the past to power some of their engagements. And we can't dive too much into that because we have certain things we're allowed to actually talk about in regards to that. But I can tell you that we partnered with them and can speak to some of that stuff. But
well, those are big. Comcast is a really big cable network. That's for sure.
Yeah. So we have case studies with them, but then we're actually about to announce our first international white label partnership, and we'll announce that shortly after going public. They're international. They're an OTT platform in India, and that has hundreds of millions of people watching. And
yep.
You can probably imagine the sport that we're going to be building prediction games around for that market. So really excited to announce that. Really excited to announce that officially in the next couple of weeks, which is our next big announcement. And then, yeah, I mean, from a biz dev standpoint, when we're talking about getting these deals up and running, that's my background. I've done that for the Brooklyn Nets and Barclays Center and various agencies, and that's where I kind of steer the ship, and I will continue to do so. But we are looking to grow the sales team and build out that. We'll be announcing again. Similarly, we'll be announcing a senior hire in that position that comes from professional sports in the US shortly. That's another announcement that'll be coming up. But yeah, we do tap into advisors and board and people around us to help drive those conversations. So we're having some really good conversations. And aside from that India deal, we'll be announcing a few more soon as well.
When you have those conversations with the likes of Roku and Samsung and Buffalo Wild Wings and so forth, how take us in behind closed doors? What's the reaction when they see your technology and the apps?
Well, the reality is that a lot of these guys are at such massive organizations, and the people we're talking to about digital products or innovation or technology, off the bat, they're like, guys, it's really hard here for us to build or push this internally because we're so big and it's so bureaucratic, and there's so much politics here. We need you. We need a nimble startup to do this. Not only for the technology, but TV and sports are becoming the second screen, and for millennials and Gen Z, the never screen. They're at real risk of people not watching because there's so much great content out there. They're playing games, they're doing other stuff. So they're often excited about what we're doing. We're like what about today, our TV or mobile apps with prediction games that make their content engaging, but we're actually about to announce a new layer to that prediction game, which I can't speak to too much now, but you may be able to guess based on some of our team's backgrounds that we just spoke about. But that in particular, that new product is really exciting potential partners. That is still prediction game based, but just adds another layer to it. And yeah, I mean, when we're talking to partners, they're excited. They're looking for stuff like this. There are many RFPs out there right now. We're in the mix with a lot of them, with some of the biggest IP sports and entertainment rights holders in the world. So yeah, news is positive, reaction is positive, and we'll be announcing some of these partners, in the upcoming weeks and months.
Matt, what's competition like? Are you guys? I would. Great. It would be great if you guys were the only ones out there doing it, but I assume there's at least somebody else out there. What's the competition like for you?
Yeah, there are a few others out there. I'd say there are a handful of companies that do what we do. I think how we differentiate is kind of pushing the boundaries a little bit as far as innovation goes. So pushing the boundaries as to what you can predict. So we're not just focusing on sports. We're one of the only actually pushing the boundaries to reality TV, news, elections, other content.
I love that.
The second is like on what devices you can predict on. We're not just focusing on mobile, we're actually focusing on TV. So actually making predictions and taking bets with your remote control without ever leaving the first screen. They're just a couple of examples how we're kind of really pushing that boundary. And then with this new product that we'll announce in June at some point, will be the first of this product that we've ever seen. We'll be the first one to actually come out with this product. So excited to. Maybe we'll have to do this again in a month or so where we can actually talk about this.
Well, Matt, I guarantee you it's going to be less than a month when you're back, because a company like yours that's growing this fast and this exciting, I would imagine you guys are going to have something to talk about every 7 to 10 days. You know, it doesn't mean you're going to hit home runs every 7 to 10 days, but it seems like you guys are going into that real growth stage. And speaking of growth stage, money is important. You need to have money. You guys closed a $5.8 million financing. It was oversubscribed. And I was part of that, by the way. So full disclosure.
Yeah.
How far is that money going to take you in terms of what you need to accomplish?
Yeah, so we're burning, just over, 130, 140 Canadian a month. So that'll last us a long time.
That's great.
So we're in a great money position right now, great financial position where we're under no pressure. We're able to go to these partners like Comcast and NBCU and the biggest leagues in the world and say, hey, just give us a shot. We're not asking for a big price tag right now. We're going to prove ourselves, then grow the revenue from there, which gives us an advantage. We're still generating revenue off the bat with these guys, but we're not under pressure to generate large amounts of revenue right now. We just got to get our foot in the door, prove ourselves, and with the people we have on board, like our chief product officer who built Top Shot, we know we're going to execute once we're in there, and we know these partners are going to be sticky, and we know the revenue will come. So that's how we've been able to really build a strong pipeline. But in the same breath, we're already starting to think about that next round. We want to get another 10 million plus in the door soon to really fuel that fire, to grow the team, to grow the sales team, to grow product and tech teams, and then execute on some M&A deals that we've been looking at pretty extensively over the next few months. So yeah, we're in a great position. We'll be building on that soon. Really excited about kind of the future of how we're going to pour fuel on the fire.
You got here. A big part of you guys getting here is your partnership with Victory Square, because clearly you guys have a great tech team, product team, but I'm assuming that Victory Square played a really big role in the capital markets side, where you didn't have to be distracted chasing money. You didn't have to be distracted doing all those things. What attracted Victory Square, and what's it been like, working with them? What have they brought to the table that have made you guys a stronger company?
Yeah, you're spot on with all of that. Like, they have truly been a partner that has enabled me to focus on the business, focus on growing that team from like 3 of us to 12 of us today, 12 like all-star people, build the board. Like, that's what I've been focused on, while they quite literally within a matter of a few days raised that 5.8 and then really managed that process of listing with, when I really didn't have much knowledge of the CSE or the Canadian public markets or even public markets in general. So I couldn't do it without them. Shafin, Vahid, Alex, Abby, like, they are incredible. They're my day-to-day partners in the business. And, I often look back at the last 6 months and think, why didn't I know about this earlier? Like, why do US-based startups not even know this is an option to unlock capital versus traditional private VC funding? It's been a hugely liberating process for us. Like, it almost feels like shackles were unlocked for us, and we're able to really grow now. So it's been incredible, and without Victory Square, we just wouldn't be possible.
Well, look, nothing slows down great product and tech people than having to go through the slogging of capital markets, regulation.
Yeah.
That's a whole, and quite frankly, I got to tell you, even if I want to take a Gorcon public, I wouldn't, and I know about I wouldn't want to go through all that. I'd want a great partner like Victory Square.
Exactly.
That's fantastic. Last but not least, I want to hear a little bit about you, Matt, because we've been talking about how great this team is, but you kind of hinted at your experience, but you've had some great successes. It'd be great for everyone to know, who the background of the head honcho.
Yeah, I mean, I'm from Australia. Some might have recognized already from the accent, but moved to New York 8 years ago. Literally one-way ticket, nothing set up. Just wanted an adventure. Wanted to work in sports. I ended up working for the Brooklyn Nets, Barclays Center. I worked for an agency called CSM Sport and Entertainment. Also worked in music festivals, but always in a brand partnership, revenue generating, deal making capacity. And then, yeah, started building GameOn a few years ago, and went through TechStars with them, which was a Comcast partnered program. Then, as we all know, about 9 months ago, started talking to and working with Victory Square Technologies. So, I'm loving the startup adventure that I'm still on. I'm more bullish and excited than ever about GameOn and the team we have around us and what we have ahead of us. So, and the one thing that everyone on here should know about me is that I'm an open book. I love talking to people. My virtual door is always open. My email is matt@gameon.app. Email me anytime and I'd be willing to jump on and have a one-on-one conversation.
Well, clearly you don't know about small cap investors because you're going to be getting a lot of email at all hours of the night. When things are great, you're going to get a lot of email. And when things maybe go through, like every company, you got to go through, you're going to give them more email.
Yeah, I've already got a few actually, and I've happily responded and had some good conversations. So always open to feedback.
No, I think that's really, really important. No, congratulations, Matt. Really big feat to get to this point. Really big feat to get to the point where you got over 100,000 downloads. Speaking of downloads, by the way, for everybody at home, both Apple and Google Play, you're in both stores.
Yeah, and just to touch on that a little bit, the app that you see on the store, like B2C isn't our vision anymore, it's B2B, but that app plays a really important role. One, it allows all you guys to actually go and see what we're building.
Sure.
And that is where everything gets built. Every new feature gets built, pushed, tested, validated, and then that's our showroom and menu almost for any partner we're working with. So when we have a conversation with a league or a team, they go and download it and they can pick and choose everything from there to then, push out into their experience in a matter of weeks because it's already built. So yeah, everybody go and download, understand that that's what we're pitching to our partners. And any feedback, please send it my way.
And you know what? I'm glad we kind of had that last minute discussion there. I love the fact that you're B2B, not B2C. B2C can be great. We hear stories about, the GeorgeCom app that's got a gazillion users, but it's really tough to get there. It requires an incredible amount of money. The risk is really, really high because you could be the fan favorite, with people this month, and by the end of the year, everyone's forgotten about you. But B2B is great because it's real money, right? It's real customers with real money. And you don't have to go through all that B2C risk.
Yeah, exactly. And we're now going to be a public company, and how we feel like we're going to drive the most value for shareholders as soon as possible is doing as many of those B2B deals as possible. And we think with the network around us and the team we have, we're going to do those pretty quickly. And the first will be announced shortly after we list with the Indian group, or not our first deal, but the first since going public. So I'm excited to share more about that shortly.
All right, can't wait for that. In the meantime, congratulations on bringing the company to this milestone. Secondly, good luck on supercharging the company after next week. And Matt, can't wait to have you back. Love the energy and love the team, love the business model. Can't wait to have you back.
Awesome, George. Appreciate it and look forward to being back.
For everybody at home, you've been watching or you've been listening by podcast on Spotify, Google, Apple, or your favorite podcast platform, to Matt Bailey. He's founder and CEO of GameOn Entertainment Technologies. They have been conditionally approved to list on the CSE under the stock symbol GET. And soon enough, you'll be able to get your research done on Agoracom when we have a profile page up and running for them. But in the meantime, this is your due diligence here. And make sure to get into the app stores for either Apple or Google Play. Download that app. It's free. It's quick. I did it. It's slick. And that gives you a real great idea of how good this company is executing a really difficult product like that. Do your due diligence. Next week, get on the CSE. Look for it. Have a great day. See you next time.